Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Millie. Thank you so much for being here. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. And if you're new here, welcome. On this channel, I talk about knitting and crochet. I share my works in progress, my finished objects, yarn hauls, and I also have a few knitting tutorials. So on today's video, I have two finished objects that I'm going to share with you. And they're both summer t-shirts, and I'm going to start with the Ranunculus, which looks like this. And this is one of those popular patterns on Ravelry. I think the last time I checked, it had about 25,000 plus projects logged on there. So it's very, very popular, and I finally finished mine and I love it so much. It fits me perfectly. I have blocked it, and I've also worn it one day to work. And this was such an enjoyable project to work on. And I think I finished it within 2 weeks. So let me talk a little bit about the pattern in case you haven't seen this pattern, because it's one of those really popular patterns. You probably have either seen it or you have already knitted 1, 2, or 3 of these, because most people that I have seen have done multiple versions of this t-shirt. So they make a t-shirt, a pullover, a summer a shirt, a winter one. There are all kinds of projects that I have seen, and I'm planning on making several different versions of it. But this is the pattern. It looks like this, and it's available on Ravelry. You can buy it and you will get a downloadable PDF. I think it goes for less than $7, and it was published in 2017, and the designer's name is Midori Hiroshi. And I think when I read the pattern notes, she says that she designed the yoke to look like a layered necklace. And it actually looks like that if you look at the pictures. Because when I looked at the pictures of myself wearing it and I looked at the back, it looked kind of layered. And I think it's because there are some short rows at the front and some short rows at the back. So the pattern is designed for, it's not designed for a specific yarn weight. So you can knit from lace weight, fingering weight, DK, or you can use worsted weight. So depending on how you want it to look. So if you want it to be really flowy and lightweight, then you can use lace or fingering weight. And if you want it to be a little bit thicker, then you go to a worsted weight or a DK weight. You can also use cotton, you can use wool. It's entirely up to you. And I think that is why this pattern is really attractive and it's really enjoyable to make, because it also makes a good starch basting project. So, and also you only use one needle size, which is a US size 10, which is equivalent to 6 millimeters. So it doesn't matter what yarn choice you make, you're still going to knit using this one size needle. And so I think that makes it really easy to work with. And also if you're using a size 10, then you're gonna knit, it's gonna knit up really, really fast. So and I think you can make it short sleeves, you can make it long sleeves, and you can make it quarter sleeves, 3/4 sleeves. It's up to you. And I made mine short sleeves, and I made a few modifications. And I think that is why just the way the pattern is written, it makes it really easy to follow. And then this pattern comes with a ton of video links. So if you're knitting and you get to a stitch or a technique that you don't know how to do, you can click and go to a YouTube video that takes you directly to that specific technique without going back and forth. So if you know how to knit, this is one of those sweaters that you're going to knit really, really easily. And so that is why I think it became very popular. And also, that's why I'm gonna go back and knit the sweater. But I saw this a long time ago when it was published, and on Ravelry, if you go on the left hand side and you click on the popular patterns, it usually says hot right now. It's always on that page, like it's on that list all the time. And initially when I saw it, I didn't like the way it looked on the different models, like this one. I didn't like that. It's designed as an oversized garment, and so I typically don't wear oversized garments, or I don't look good in them. So I was like, I'm not gonna make that. I'm not gonna look good in it. But then later on, she updated it, and it has sizes. It starts from a size 1 all the way to a size 11. And when I was looking through people's projects and notes, I noticed that the people that made a 1, 2, 3, and 4 seemed to fit, the size seemed to fit better. And so I decided to try a size 2, and then if the size 2 wasn't gonna work, then I was gonna go to a size 3. But the size 2 fitted me perfectly, and so that is what I'm gonna stick with. But if I make one in fingering weight, then I'm going to go to a size 3. And if I wanted to be a little bit loose, then I think I can also get away with a 4. But the current finished project that I have is a 2. I also like the way that the yoke looks. And so you cast on at the yoke, and then you join to knit in the round. And then there are some increases in the yoke, and the way she has designed it, they fit really, really well. And then the sleeves have raglan increases, and that makes the sleeves fit really well. So overall, it's a very good design, and I like it a lot. And I'm going to make a couple more just because it's one of those quick projects. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a winter one in wool, and I probably might have some fingering weight yarn that I have somewhere that I can use to make a long sleeves one. So, but this particular one, I knitted it to wear in the summer, and I used 100% cotton yarn, and this is what I used. I used Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel cotton, but this is a discontinued yarn. And this is a DK weight, and the cake has 335 yards, and it doesn't matter. The recommended size for DK weight is usually a US 6 or a UK 8. It's typically 4.5 millimeters for crochet hook, or a 7. So, but it doesn't matter for this cardigan because, for this sweater, because whatever yarn you choose, you're still gonna use a size 10. So I used a 16-inch circular knitting needle over here, but I wish I had a 9 because I really struggled with the stitches here because the stitches were too few for me to be able to knit comfortably when I was doing the ribbing. But then once I increased the stitches, it became a little bit easier, and I switched to, I think I switched to a 24 inches or 34, I don't remember which, but I was able to finish it. But over here, I really struggled, and I think there are two. If you want your neck to be wider, you can cast on more stitches. If you want your neck to be smaller, then you cast on few stitches, and then there is a technique that she gives you here to increase the stitches, and it turned out really, really well. And I didn't want the wider neckline. That's why I started with a few stitches. But so once you're done here with the increases and you separate for the sleeves, you decide whether you want to make them into long sleeves or if you want to make them into short sleeves. And I think I didn't really follow the pattern to a T on the sleeves, because I remember that there was something that I did not understand over here. And so I just used my knowledge of working up sleeves to finish the sleeves, and I added a little bit of a ribbing here. And as soon as I got the length that I wanted, then I cast off. So that is my Ranunculus. I love it so much. And I have, this yarn, I have a pile of this yarn that I purchased, I think 2022, when Hobby Lobby were running their annual clearance. And I have like 2 skeins of this, 2 skeins of that. So I have it in multiple colors. And I think I want to make one in this color, because I think for me, pink, I can wear it any season. It doesn't matter if it's the summer, if it's the winter, I can still wear the pink. And so I think I'm going to make one in this color, because I think I have 3 or 4 cakes of this. So that is the first finished t-shirt that I have. And I'm going to show you what I have finished next. And I'm on the fence with my next project because I am not really happy with it. So I'm trying to decide if I want to frog it and fix the problem. And I think I've come to the point where I think I'm going to frog it and fix the problem that I encountered. The second t-shirt that I want to share with you is my Ankers summer shirt, and it's a design by Petitknit. And this is one of those popular shirts, again on Ravelry, with a ton of projects made. But mine is going to be frogged and reknitted, or I'm going to frog it and redo it again. And the reason why I need to frog it is because it doesn't really fit me in the back. So down here in the back, I ended up with a lot of extra fabric, but it's not because of the pattern, it's because of an oversight on my part. So this pattern has 2 inches of positive ease. And so when I was looking at the size that works for me, I didn't read the entire pattern. I just looked and saw that, oh, my measurements fall under the extra large. And so I knitted the extra large, even though with the 2 inches of positive ease, I should have knitted a large. And so what happened is that I ended up with a lot of extra fabric in the back, which I might have been able to solve that if I had thought about placing some decreases in the body, but I didn't do that. I just knitted the pattern the way it was written, and there are no decreases in the body, so I just knitted it, and then I stopped too quickly, I think, and ended up with a cropped t-shirt, which is not something that I like. I prefer my t-shirts or my sweaters to be a little bit longer. And so that is why I am going to frog it. But before I frog it, I'm just going to share a little bit about the design. So you cast on in the neck, and then you join to knit in the round. And then the yoke, the circular yoke, is knitted in 1x1 ribbing. And then there are strategic increases throughout the yoke. And the sleeves have raglan increases, and that helps them fit better on this garment. And then I think the length is a little cropped on the design. And I think that's why I actually wasn't looking at how much length I needed to knit. I just tried it on, and I assumed that I tried it on with a specific skirt that I was planning to wear it with. and it looked good, and so I cast off. But in hindsight, I should have thought about other garments that I plan to wear with it, and not just based it off of that one skirt. So that is a problem on my part. And so I'm going to frog it and go back to the large size, because every one of these, you can see the design on the yoke. Like there is some ribbing, and then some type of design, some ribbing. All those are marking different sizes on the t-shirt. So I'm gonna go back to the one that marks the large, and then I'm going to work from there. And then when I get to the body, I am going to decrease so that I can get rid of all that extra fabric. So so let me tell you a little bit about this pattern. So you can find it on Ravelry, and it's going for $6.93, and you get a downloadable PDF pattern that you can knit over and over again. So this is designed for DK weight, and then you need 601 to 1200 yards of yarn, depending on the size that you pick, and it comes in multiple sizes. So there is, the smallest is an extra small all the way to the 5 extra large, and it has English and other 12 languages. So very, very good pattern, and I think that is why there's like 8, right now there are 87 or 8 projects that are logged on Ravelry, and I'm sure that not everyone logs their projects on Ravelry. But I also don't know if this pattern is being sold somewhere else. Probably she has a website. Most of these designers have another website somewhere that you can buy the pattern. But I usually buy my patterns on most of my patterns I buy on Ravelry, and sometimes I buy on Etsy. But mostly I buy them on Ravelry. And then this same pattern has 6732 projects queued. So you can see that it's one of those popular patterns. But also this designer, what I've read about her is that she makes really good designs, and so she's one of those popular ones. And there's a fingering weight version of this t-shirt, and it's called the summer tee, I think. I believe it's called Anker's summer tee or something. But since I wanted to knit mine quickly, or I wanted it to go faster, that is why I chose to do the DK weight version. And so I don't think there's anything else about the pattern, but it's easy. And apart from that mess that I did, it's a really good and easy pattern to follow, and it's one of those that also knit up quickly. And for me, I used a cotton yarn in DK weight, and the yarn that I'm using here is the same one that I used on my Ranunculus, and it's a discontinued weight. It's a discontinued yarn, and it's this yarn. It's the yarn B Sugar Wheel Cotton Solid, and this color is called, the color that I'm using obviously is black, but I don't know why these yarn stores keep discontinuing all the yarns that I like. But this is discontinued, so you won't find it in the store. But I have a ton of those that I acquired when I shopped in 2022 when Hobby Lobby had their big yarn clearance. So I have a ton of that, and I don't know if I'm gonna make another one of these, but I'm going to finish this one, and then when I incorporate all those designs, ideas that I have, like decreasing in the body and making it a little bit longer, I hope it's gonna work for me. And I'll come back and share with you the finished project, and hopefully it's gonna work out for me this time around. So if you're working on a pattern, make sure you read everything. And I read everything, but I don't know what I was thinking this time, and that has cost me I don't know how many hours. So that is a note to self: read all the patterns that you buy. Don't rush, because if you rush, then you're actually going to be losing time, because I can imagine how many hours of knitting I'm going to lose just by not paying attention to the fact that this pattern has 2 inches of positive ease. So if you have knitted any of these t-shirts that I have talked about today, let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you enjoyed the process and if you're planning to make multiple versions of the same. So until next time, happy knitting!